Hello, what is going on, guys? Today we've got a match showing off two Oumaji in a battle of reckless expansion versus slow state building. These players are going to show off archipelago smithery, deadly bridges, and a shocking finale I don't want you to miss. My name is Funny, owner of a large gold pile, someone who wants you to sub to the channel, and with me today is the King of Doom, Reaper.
Hello, I'm a pro Polytopia player and a fellow bullet champion.
Alright, let's get into it. So this game takes place between Anva and MysticCr8tor, who are highly skilled pro players. They had to battle it out for 4 rounds previously, just for the opportunity to face each other in these Polysseum finals. That's this game right now.
Our first segment is a fun one. It's called Comparing Capitals. So if we take a look at Anva's spawn, we'll see that they have 2 fruit and 1 fish. Seems like the organization tech is the route to go.
Mystic's capital, on the other hand, tons of fruit and fish. Not quite. You're gonna need both of them to get that level 3 upgrade. But after that, it looks like an easy path to giant with all these port connections from these cities. There's even enough cities just with land connections to get a grand bazaar already, off to a great start. So both players are off to the races, sending their horses off to these villages. To keep it a little closer together. Fortunately, pretty similar, and they're both going to pick up fishing too. Anva really would have liked to upgrade that capital, but needs fishing instead. Going to recognize that, play a little more conservatively, starting off with a workshop here. Anva's going to move her other rider backwards here, probably getting ready to clear this fog and make sure that the explorer goes into where Mystic probably is. Mystic, though, a little more reckless. He's going to go ahead, upgrade this city, all his stars, explorer straight away. And Mystic unfortunately misses Anva, doesn't get those stars traded, but sees these 3 villages locked on his side, right next to his capital, so probably excited about that. Anva's also going to get an explorer on all of the exact same villages, still missing her opponent. Going to play a little more conservatively, worried potentially about a siege on this city from the water. Gonna put that rider on there and this warrior up on this city. Mystic goes in and attacks moving north instead of to probably where he's safer.
Yeah, and so we see Anva going in and killing that rider up in the north, allowing her to step on that village just 1 turn sooner. It seems like, Mystic made a pretty decent mistake there, letting her have that village a little bit earlier, considering that Mystic, has all of these villages on his side, but it looks like Anva went for an aggressive approach here to step on that village there and run straight into Mystic's rider there. And it looks like she won't be able to capture that village because Mystic will be able to knock her right off. She goes for an explorer up in the north. And
It's a good explorer.
Yes, it's an amazing explorer. She sees that Mystic has a lot more villages on his side of the map than she does. Mystic training a couple units. And Anva's just exploring down south.
Yeah, he's gonna walk off that village, maybe get some cheaper techs by delaying that capture. He's gonna go all the way, all of those cities. It's gonna be 6 villages against the Anva has. Goes for another workshop. He's trying to make up for that lack of eco. These level 40s are gonna be really dragging him down. Anva finally upgrades that capital, making use of these port connections, and making sense of why fishing first on Archipelago. We're gonna see level 3 cities, really good for Anva, especially when you look at Mystic, who has half of his cities unupgraded. He's gonna have to be spending all of his stars this turn and the next couple of turns. Gonna get a nice explorer and a lighthouse. He's going to upgrade with a port too, which is going to be pretty difficult. He doesn't upgrade his other cities right now. He goes and gets these riders. Pretty expensive. Anva, on the other hand, he's going to be spending more time working on upgrading cities than training new units for right now.
Yeah, it seems like Mystic is, he finally gets sailing of his own to place down forts and such, giving him the ability to finally get on the water. It seems like, Anva has a lead on the water, just it seems like a turn or so sooner. But we'll see See if Mystic can get a grasp on the water, and maybe he can finally scoop up those villages in the east and the south and press his advantage even more. Right now, it's looking like a pretty good position for Mystic.
Yeah, what's crazy is that he sees this raft here, and he sees this village down in the south. He's worried that Anva's going to get it and he's not going to be able to do anything about it. So he ends up climbing with all of his stars just to kill that raft and deny Anva that village. Pretty aggressive, but maybe he was hoping for, yep, perfect metal rates over there. Maybe he was seeing some kind of upgrade with mining later on, which would be crazy.
Seems like Anva's now connecting all of her cities with ports and gets another explorer. Unfortunately, though, it does go backwards, but it does find her a lighthouse, which could be useful in popping giants later on. Seems like Mystic is going on the attack with his units, and seems like Mystic is finally deciding to somewhat focus on his economy a little bit, which I'm very happy to see. With Anva upgrading all of her cities pretty early on. Oh, and he gets an explorer, and it goes backwards and discovers that lighthouse. That actually is pretty big for Mystic, because now that allows him to giant next turn.
Yeah, more units while he still has this level 1 city up there. Anva's also getting ready for a giant of her own. The only problem is, if you look at the map, Mystic's going to take this city and this city down here on the next turn, meaning it's going to be 8 cities against 5. That's a lot of problems for Anva long term. Mystic's also, despite being the away player, going to be the one who gets giants before Anva. And this explorer is going to be really nice, getting vision on that capital. Not quite enough for either lighthouse, but he's going to use, yep, his second monument, this Grand Bazaar that Anva is probably not going to get the whole game, and use those 2 monuments for a second giant. Anva's turn, going to get her and use her monument, as well as a couple other ports for giants. Same 2 giants, but it is a lot more expensive for Anva to upgrade this way.
Seems that Mystic now, he gets roads, and it seems like now he's going to capture that east village, and he gets that south village too. He's just pressing his units forward, and he pushes his giant not into the port, he pushes it west, and it seems like he's trying to prevent Anva from getting on the water anymore. Because right now, Anva does have a slight lead on the water, has, a couple more boats on the water, and it seems like, sailing is probably the next best option for both of these players.
Yeah, the roads tech was very interesting. Tier 2 tech cost as much as sailing. Maybe he's getting ready to use this giant and push it on land against Anva's cities up here. A lot of riders too. If he has the mobility advantage to go bounce out, then he'd be fine. The big thing is though, it looks like we see what I'm going to call a one-way door here. These mountains are stopping Mystic from roading his own units in, but if Anva had bought Climb, she can move her units into this city no problem. They're really blocking Mystic's units from attacking Anva's cities. Same thing for this forest. As soon as Mystic walks out of his own he can't walk back through this and retreat his riders safely. It's not really a problem for Anva though. Anva is going to buy sailing and take a very nice tasty Juggernaut splash damage. Make sure that Mystic isn't getting anything from that starfish. He's going to get a trade ruin. Maybe not the most helpful here, but who knows? What new text you might see pop out for these players. I'm going to go ahead and finally, he's got level 2 cities everywhere. His economy is towering over Anva. Anva has about 2/3 the income, and also about 2/3 the city count. Anva realizes this and starts putting all of her stars in the water, getting this giant ready to attack. Anva knows that if she isn't attacking her opponent, that income is just going to accumulate over the course of the game and mean that she's basically guaranteed to lose. She even uses, the bridges. This siege is possible and her riders go back and safely because they can go through this forest onto the bridge. Mystic tried the same thing sieging this city, the forests would block.
Yeah, we see Mystic now, he's kind of on the defense. You know, with Anva making that bridge and sieging that city, it seems like Anva has a lot more options now to be aggressive. And maybe, you know, take some of those villages from Mystic, you know. Anva only has, you know, 5 villages and cannot get that Grand Bazaar without another village. So maybe she's trying to be aggressive here and go for that Grand Bazaar to pop yet another giant. Maybe she pops it on her capital. You know, there's plenty of options here for Anva to create some counterplay.
Nowhere can we see Mystic being more defensive than moving his Juggernaut away from the port, or away from attacking Anva and into defending the city. The same for this giant here. Didn't go into the port, wants to keep Anva's giant out. But now Mystic's in a really defensive position. He's got all these cities, but he needs to have some way that he can hold on to them. And Anva recognizes this and starts going for the attack. The longer Mystic defends, the worse it is for Anva. Anva's gonna get that Juggernaut in, do some damage. Not so worried about taking a single hit from this 18 health giant.
Alright, and it looks like Mystic is going to unsiege with his riders. Anva's really putting on the pressure now, especially with Mystic, you know, focusing most of his stars. He's not really doing much with them. It looks like Mystic goes for 2 bridges here to kill Anva's rider there, and then Veteran, and then hop on the ruin there. Very expensive play. And it looks
Another
like
expensive play, mining.
Mining on Arky? That's not something I see usually. Normally it's for a Drylands map, but on Arky, I mean, that's pretty rare.
It seems like he's playing for the very late game here even, because if he gets Smithery, that means another giant here, access to Swordsman, which would be nice to road in to Anva's cities. And then
maybe he's also playing for markets, you know, he does have trade, right? So maybe he sees the opportunity to go for Smithery, and I don't know, maybe since he's on the defensive, he's hoping Swordsman will be better for him. You know, although with Swordsman losing that Fortify bonus, they're still really good to attack ships with and possibly, you know, defeat the giant.
Maybe he's feeling like that climbing that he had to do earlier, just turning into a blessing here. Let's see which strategy wins. Anva keeps up the attack. Lots of pressure here. Buys climbing herself so that, yep, these mountains are blocking Mystic, but not so much Anva, as Anva gets 2 more sieges. Continues the attack with these boats. These scouts aren't taking any damage. And Mystic's riders keep losing health as they keep going for these unsieges after turn. It's getting harder and harder for him to unsiege here, but he does have a high income still. As he upgrades that city. Anva goes in. This is her chance. He's going to siege that city. 2 giants sieging. And then this warrior is also going to siege up here. So that's a quadruple siege on turn. That's what happens when you build up pressure, using your units all over the place. And these ships, they're not taking any retaliation damage, which means they can set up these sieges over and over again. At the start of this turn, income is even less than Anva's. This is a huge problem for him. He's got to do something about it. So he uses all of his riders to attack this giant before taking a break. And that's right, just like we talked about. Buying Smithery so that he can pop a giant on this city, saving all of his cities this turn. Getting ready for markets, definitely. He's going to unsiege there, and not all of his cities. This one is still lost. He didn't have quite enough riders to deal with that. And Anva does have enough ships, actually, to take care of this giant. So Anva gets this, which it doesn't seem like he's got a way to break anymore for capturing that city. Anva's got her own Grand Bazaar, and with things getting leveled like this, until eventually this giant sieged with no recourse for him. What a game. Thanks for watching. Join the next Polysseum. Like and subscribe. Helps us a lot. Join our Discord, other social media. All the links are in the descriptions. If you'd like to see if 4 giants is enough to win a game, click there to see the Kiku video on the screen. Take care. See you all in the next one.